When you think of Chardonnay, what pops into your head? For a lot of people, it's one of two things. Either those super lean, almost razor-sharp wines from the north, or the big, buttery, oaky stuff from warmer places. But what if I told you there's a perfect sweet spot right in the middle? Well, let's talk about the Mâconnais, Burgundy's sunny, generous south. And honestly, it's probably the home of the best value in the entire region.
Think of white Burgundy like a Chardonnay compass. Way up north, you've got Chablis. It's cool, it's mineral-driven, it's kind of restrained, but hop in a car and drive just 2 hours south, and you land in the Mâconnais. And here, that exact same grape gives you something totally different. Wines that are generous, round, and just super welcoming right from the first sip. It's the perfect example of how terroir, the place itself, shapes what ends up in your glass.
So, why the big personality shift? What's going on that causes such a dramatic change? It's not just about the sunshine, though. That helps. The real answer, the real secret, starts deep underground. The unique character of a Mâconnais wine is literally written in its geology, a story that started hundreds of millions of years ago.
This is where you see climate and geology just working together in perfect harmony. That warmer weather and lower risk of frost, that lets the Chardonnay grapes get perfectly ripe, developing all those generous fruit flavors we love. But the real secret weapon is the soil. These beautiful rolling hills are packed with limestone and alkaline clay, and that is the absolute perfect foundation for growing world-class Chardonnay.
And this right here, this is what we mean when we talk about minerality in wine. It's amazing. That famous landmark, the Rock of Solutré, isn't just a rock, it's a fossilized coral reef. It's what's left of an ancient warm sea. So when you taste that chalky, flinty mineral note in a wine from around here, you are, and I mean this literally, tasting the essence of a 195-million-year-old seabed. How cool is that?
All right, so you get the terroir, you get the ancient sea fossils, but how does that help you find the right bottle at the store? Well, luckily for us, the Mâconnais has a really clear quality ladder. Understanding this simple hierarchy is like having a secret decoder ring to find the perfect wine for your taste and, yeah, for your budget.
Let's climb that ladder together. At the very base, you've got your Mâcon AOP. That just means it's from the general Mâcon region. A great, honest, everyday white Burgundy. Take one step up and you're at Mâcon Villages. This means the grapes came from one of 27 specific villages known for better quality. Now we're getting serious. Step 3 brings us to specific appellations like Saint Véran and Villers-Classes, which have fantastic character for the money. And then you get to the very top.
And this brings us to Pouilly-Fuissé. This is the prestige stuff. These wines come from the most dramatic limestone slopes and have real complexity. In fact, their quality got a huge official nod back in 2020 when the area was granted its very first Premier Cru vineyards. That was a huge deal, basically putting it on the same level as the super famous villages up in the Côte de Beaune.
Okay, we've covered the place, we've covered the labels. Now for the best part. What do these wines actually taste like? Let's connect all those dots, the sun, the soil, that quality ladder, to the actual experience of pouring a glass.
Right off the bat, the first thing you're going to notice is the fruit. Thanks to all that sunshine, Mâconnais Chardonnay is just bursting with these ripe, really welcoming notes. I'm talking about delicious stone fruits like peach and nectarine, ripe apple, maybe a little bit of melon, and you'll often find these beautiful floral aromas too, like acacia or honeysuckle. It's just so inviting from the moment you put your nose in the glass.
But, and this is important, this is not just a simple fruit bomb. Underneath all that generosity, you've still got that classic Burgundian structure. The acidity is a bit softer, a bit rounder than what you'd find in Chablis, but it's balanced out by these wonderful nutty notes like fresh almond or hazelnut. And while most of these wines don't see a lot of oak, the best ones can have this subtle, lovely creaminess and that signature gunflint minerality, which as we now know is a direct echo of those fossil-rich soils.
Okay, so you've got the bottle. You know what it's supposed to taste like. Now, how do you make it really shine? Getting the serving temperature and the food pairing just right can totally elevate the whole experience. So think of this as your practical toolkit for enjoying these wines to their absolute fullest.
All right, you might want to get your phone out for this because this is a great slide to screenshot. For your basic Mâcon and Mâcon villages, keep it simple and fresh. Think roast chicken, salads with goat cheese, simple seafood. You want to serve them cool, around 9 to 11 degrees Celsius to keep that acidity nice and crisp. For Saint Véran or Villers-Classes, you can get a little richer. Oily fish, creamy risottos, even veal. Same temp. But for that complex, beautiful Pouilly-Fuissé, you gotta match it. Go for rich stuff like lobster or crab, or hard, nutty cheeses like Comté. And notice the temperature, a little warmer, 11 to 13 degrees. That lets all those complex aromas really open up and show you what they've got. So when you look at a scene like this now, you can see the whole story, can't you? You can see the limestone slopes that give the wine its backbone. You can practically feel that southern sun that gives it all that generous fruit. The Macane really is where the prestige of Burgundy meets a price you can actually afford and a personality that's just so welcoming. It is the perfect intersection of quality, value, and just pure enjoyment.
So now you have the map. You know the whole story. From the soil to the label to the table. You're totally equipped to navigate this fantastic region. You can walk into a wine shop with confidence, pick out a bottle, and you'll understand the story that's inside. So I guess the only question left is, are you ready to go explore the best value in white Burgundy?